Morning everyone, it's Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42. It's Monday. I was at work this morning. I knew the date then. 26th September 2022. I don't know exactly how much cross stitch is going to be shown today because I didn't get a lot stitched the last 2 weeks. I'm thinking I need to retitle my videos. This is how Audrey hurts herself and doesn't know how. Right after I finished that last video, I was working upstairs and I realized that my neck and my shoulder were hurting. And I went downstairs to go talk to Mark out in the shop. He's working on the Jeep. And I was standing next to the Jeep and he had something behind the driver's seat. So all I did was lean my head forward and turn to the left, and this pain shot from the middle of my shoulder up into my brain, down my left arm, words, man. Went up into the brain, went down the left arm. I don't ever want to feel that pain again. It hurt. It hurt like a puppy's mother. I have a pinched nerve. Don't know what I did to cause it. So I couldn't stitch because I couldn't really use my left arm for a while because every time I moved it, it hurt. It still hurts. It's getting better. It's getting much better. We're crossing our fingers there. It's getting better. So I didn't do any stitching. Now I have to admit I have been procrastinating this year big time. And I realize it because, I've been falling apart for the past couple of months, having this issue and that issue and whatever. And last weekend was Acorns and Threads Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. In person, in hotel, first time ever retreat. And I wanted to make things to take up with me to pass out to everybody else who was there. That's what I've been working on before I went out and talked to Mark at the Jeep and found out that I had a pinched nerve. We'll get more into that. It's an ongoing story. It's an ongoing story. You know me. It's always an ongoing story. Anyway, I wanted to make these bookmarkers. I got 33 of them done that day before this exploded. I tried to make a couple more, and every time I did, Mark would yell at me because it was hurting. It was hurting. So I only got about 50 of them made, and then I stopped. I didn't try stitching because sitting in this chair, having my arm on the arm of the chair here, it was like it was pushing up against that area of my neck. So I really didn't even bother to stitch. And I needed to because I have a project that I have to get done because I'm doing another Halloween Advent exchange with Melanie Smith Yarns and Threads. And I had one piece left that I needed to work on, and it's a stitched piece for her. And I couldn't stitch. So, I was procrastinating on making things for the retreat, so I only got about half of what I wanted to get done with them. I was procrastinating big time on getting things together for the exchange with Melanie because I've only known about this for a year. And right after we decided to do this a second time, I was all gung-ho and I was getting things together. And then I lost lost time. I know it just disappeared somewhere between March and August. Time evaporated. And she puts out a video and says that she's going to be sending my package to me early because they're remodeling their house. So my package from her is sitting right down here, hidden from me. It's been here most of September. And I'm starting to scramble and collect the things that I've saved for and getting other things put in there. And I still have this one stitch piece that I want to make. But the one that I wanted to do, I didn't get started and it wasn't going to be finished in time. So then I chose a different one and same thing. And does time disappear for you? Because it did for me. Whatever. I don't know. It's disappeared. I have this week to get my act together, get everything wrapped up and mailed to her so that we can do our Halloween Advent exchange this year. Melanie, don't ask me to do next year, please. Because right now I'm feeling like an epic failure. I shouldn't. I know I'll get it all together, but it's like time disappeared. Seriously, time disappeared. So before I get into telling you about the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit, I have to tell you about this really weird thing that happened in my house last week. Weird things happen in my house. If you've followed me for any length of time, thank you so much. If you're new, welcome to my version of crazy. Strange things happen in my house, and last week I think topped it off. There are two of us who live in this house, my husband Mark and myself. Parts of my house will be 100 years old next year. The living room, the kitchen, his office, the room upstairs that is my Hobbit library and the crafting bureau. And there have been add-ons in the early 60s to this house. So my house is just a strange combination of nothing that matches, and it's got a whole unique personality, which is perfect for me. It's perfect. But there's only Mark and me in the house. I'm going to sneeze, so I may have to pause here and start over. This is a note to self. It's not happening yet, it's just tickling. Okay, we're going to go on. Ignore that. My normal work schedule is that on Tuesdays and Wednesdays I work from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And on Fridays and Saturdays, I work from 5 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., 21 hours a week. So last Wednesday, I get up to have breakfast. Mark's already gone. I do my stuff. I leave the house. I go to work. I come home and I walk into my kitchen. My kitchen is small. When you walk through this door, right to this side is the table. There's an island in the middle, and then there's the counter against the south wall that has the sink and the shelves, and the refrigerator's on the far wall. I walk in after work, I walk around the counter, or the island like I usually do, and my garbage can, which is in the cupboard next to the refrigerator, has fallen over and spilled across the floor. So I took a picture of it and I sent it to Mark and said, "What the hell?" And Mark calls me back and he goes, "What the hell?" And I said, "I don't know. I found the garbage knocked over and it's not a big mess on the floor. I've already cleaned it up and everything. The only thing that I could think of is because there's a small lip, the garbage cupboard is maybe 3/4 of an inch higher than the floor in the kitchen. And I sometimes pull it out so it's tilted, and it may have just tipped over because one side was heavier. I don't know. I cleaned up the garbage. I put it back in the cupboard. I closed the door. I told Mark while we were talking on the phone, I said, when you leave work, tell me, because I'm going to put a roast in the oven for dinner. And he goes, yum. So, Mark gets home. We have dinner. We had roast beast, and all the vegetables. We come out here to the living room. This is where we both have TV trays, TV tables, whatever they're called. The little foldy tables, you know. He has one in front of his chair. I have one in front of my chair. We're old people. Come on, we're old. We're senior citizens, and we're going to eat in the living room and watch television. When Mark is done eating, I hear him to start thinking out loud. And in case you don't know what that means, I heard him snoring, which is not unusual. He has a hard job. He'd worked all day. He came home, he ate, he was relaxing, and he starts snoring. I'm watching Hercule Poirot. I hear a thump. Not like the cable being pulled off the house thump. Not like the raccoons on the roof. Just a weird thump. So I turn the volume off, and I'm listening, and I don't hear anything. Turn the volume back on, I hear a second, softer thump. Turn the volume off again, I'm like, what is that? But I don't hear any noise. So I turned my show back on. I finished watching the last 5-10 minutes of it, and then I got up to go into the kitchen to clean up the dinner stuff. And I walk in with the plates, and on the island is where the roast was and the vegetables, and the roast isn't there. And I'm thinking to myself, did Mark get up and go put the roast in the refrigerator? But if he did that, why didn't he put the vegetables away? But no, he's in the living room asleep. Well, I better go open up the refrigerator anyway and see if the roast is in there. Walk around the island, reach to open up the refrigerator door, and I see the roast. It is on the floor, halfway between the island and the door that goes into Mark's office. And I'm standing there and I go, Mark! Because he was asleep and he needed to be awake. And he goes, what? And I said, come here! And he comes in the kitchen and he looks and he sees the roast on the floor and he goes, what the hell? And I said, I don't know. I don't know. If you go through Mark's office, there is a door that goes out into his shop, and that door was open. So we figured some sort of animal must have come in and grabbed the roast. But we didn't know what it was. So the next morning, Thursday, my day off, I get up, I come downstairs, I'm having my breakfast, sitting at the kitchen table, I'm playing on the laptop, and I take my plate and I go to set it on the stovetop. We have a glass stovetop, and I see paw prints. So I took a picture of this and I posted it on my Facebook. Evidence of the roast beast thief. And my friends on Facebook are a riot. The first lady wanted to know what kind of prints they were, and I said they're cat prints. So then another friend said bobcat, and I said no, house cat. A third one comes along and says, no, that's not a cat print. And I said, well, what do you think it is? Because it's not very big. And she goes, it's a weasel or something. And I said, so now I am Googling raccoon prints, cat prints, weasel prints. I'm posting pictures of these on my Facebook page. It's a cat print. I took a tape measure and put it next to it. It's less than 1 inch big. It's a cat print. It's a house cat print. Then one of my friends comes back and says, no, it's not. It's a raccoon. No, it's not. It's a house cat print. Yeah. First of all, if it was a raccoon, it would have made a hell of a lot more noise than what I heard. And I don't think that raccoons can jump from the floor up to a stovetop. And I think if there was paw prints on the glass stovetop and it had been a raccoon, I think it would have gotten scratched. I think it's a house cat. Anyway, it tried to steal our roast beast. Mark says there is an opening from the shop that goes into the crawl space underneath the house. He's going to make sure that that's blocked off because apparently it hasn't been. There you go. That was Wednesday and Thursday. Friday was the start of Acorns and Threads' first ever in-hotel retreat. This was supposed to happen in 2020. But we all know what happened in 2020 and everybody stayed home. And everybody stayed home the next year too. So this was the first live in-hotel retreat that I have ever been to. And I have to tell you, it was fabulous. It was fabulous. So this is my Acorns bag that I took with me, full of all the things that I was going to try to work on. This is the goodie bag that we got at the retreat, and there is a lot of stuff in here. There were a lot of people who had brought in small gifts to exchange with people in the room. Some people, not me, made enough to pass them around to everybody. Some people just passed around their own table. I am not going to show all of that stuff because I know that I can't remember who gave me everything, and I don't want to offend anybody by saying the wrong name or missing a name. What I would like to say is if you were at the retreat this weekend and you gave me a small item, thank you so very, very much. I was amazed at how many things we got besides what we were given at the retreat. That's what I'm going to share with you. So the first thing that we got was this big bag. And we got to choose our own colors. So everybody has different colors. I think there was a pink one and a red one and a yellow and a green. And I got blue because, you know me, I like the blue. Now, we got to do a make and take. This was the simplest make and take. And I have to tell you, I appreciate Janine's sense of humor so much. She goes, you have a plastic bag inside of your goodie bag. And if you take that out, there is a little plastic bag inside of that. And it has a little fob on it that says Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit 2022. I want you to take that out of the little plastic bag. And then she wanted us to take this big project bag that we had been given. And she goes, now this is what you're going to do. You're going to connect the fob with the lobster clasp onto the zipper. This was our make and take. Yes. Yes. Okay. So, the bag that she was talking about that had our make and take in it was this plastic bag, which was filled with goodies. Anytime you go to Acorns and Threads, if you go to a retreat or you do a class with them, they always have M&Ms on the counter. And now she gets the M&Ms in bags, because we're all trying to be safer. So we all got M&Ms. Because, you know, you have to have your chocolate fix. Also in this bag were 2 patterns from Beth Twist. She was there this weekend, but she wasn't there in the role of a designer. She was Janine's Vanna White. She was there to do the this and the this, and she does it quite nicely too. She was also sitting at the table I was at, and she's funny, but don't take up any of her space, okay? Just saying. We got a corner gauge, and it is embossed, opposite of embossed, engraved, Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. Very nice. Very, very nice. We got a little metal box with a magnet on it. That was our second make and take. We had to take the little magnet out of the inside of the box and put it on the top so that we could put our pins on it. That was the second make and take. This, I think, was really cool. I haven't even opened it up because they showed it there. But we were given a little portable charger that we can use for table lamps or charging cell phones. That is wonderful. And it says Acorns and Threads on it. And then we were given some flosses in here because part of the reason we were given the Beth Twist patterns is because they all have small elements on them. And you can stitch on this bag. So we were given 3 different colors of, what is it, pearl cotton, and 1 week's dye work, so that if we wanted to, we could stitch a design on the bag. So I thought that was really, really cool. I'm leaving the candy out for later. They had so much good food there. We got, with the hotel, we got continental breakfast from 7:30 to 10:30 in the morning. And they had, of course I realized this after the fact, they had an omelet bar, and then they had a regular go and dish up scrambled eggs, potatoes, sausage, bacon, cereal, muffins, you know, whatever you want. But I'm blonde, and I realized they had the omelet bar after I'd gotten my second breakfast, the second day, not hobbity second breakfast. Just saying. And then we also got fantastic lunches. So there was lots of good food. All right. We had not 1, but 2 designers there, besides Beth Twist. Yeah. Okay. Nope. One more thing to take out of the bag. All of the rest of the stuff in here were things that were passed out to people by other attendees, and there's so much goodness in here. Again, thank you. I'm not going to be saying names because I know I'll screw up somewhere along the way. I know me. I know me. All right. So the designer that we were introduced to in the morning, I have met before. She is a fabulous lady. Her name is Janine McGowan. You know her as the Blue Flower Designer. And we get this wonderful envelope, brown paper bag, words. We know this is an issue with me. She and the other designer were asked to design things specifically for the Pacific Northwest One was given the option of doing interior Pacific Northwest, and the other one on coastal Pacific Northwest. Janine did the interior Pacific Northwest. And this is called Forest Home. There's a saying on it that says, "Our roots are in the depth of the woods." Look at this. She made Multnomah Falls. A little bit shorter than normal, but she made Multnomah Falls. She's got a deer on there. There's various animals. There's trees. There's crepe myrtle. She did a wonderful job of representing the interior of the Pacific Northwest. Oh, wow, I found my pen. I was given we were given lovely linen. I think it's a 36 count linen. It's a Zweigart Edinburgh. It's called Ghostly Shadows. There is a needle minder that shows part of the stitch design. We were given the whole floss pack. And then she explained how she came up with the ideas for creating this design. I have met her before. I think she is just a super, super fun lady. I love her patterns. And I feel bad because I've never stitched any of them. The only design that I've stitched of hers was that little Free Violets one that I stitched earlier this year. I love her patterns, but my house is small and I don't know where I could put them up. And I want to get more into making smalls and finishing them in a different way, but I'll get into more of that in a little bit. So then our second designer that we met in the afternoon. Of course, they were both there the whole time, so, saying that we met her in the afternoon is kind of silly because she was there. But it's Stephanie Webb, Lindy Stitches. She is so cute. And we found out that she and Beth Twist did a genetics test, and even though they have the same hair, they are not related. I think that everyone was crushed. Stephanie got to design the coastal version for the Pacific Northwest. Take a look at this. This is beautiful. So beautiful. She's got a whale on there. She's got seashells. She's got sea lions. She's got a puffin. There's a crab. It's just fantastic. We got some stickers from her. We got the linen from her and a floss pack. And there's some beads in this one. So there's the linen and the beads, all the flosses, the stickers. This is the first time I've looked at them. There's a sea lion, there's a whale, and there's one that says Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit 2022 with a starfish on it. Absolutely fabulous. Lots of people had already started these while they were at the retreat, and I'm always amazed that people can do that. I found that with the way my eyesight is changing, that for me, if I'm going to go someplace and stitch, it's easier for me to stitch on Aida away from home because I can see it better. Even the 16 and 18 counts Aidas, I can see better than I can the linens. The linens, I'm finding out I have to sit here and use my magnifier. It is what it is. Okay. And then later on, I think it was the next day, they came around and passed out to us this little necklace. It kind of sort of looks like a copper frying pan, but what it is, they gave us some little patterns, and these are images from both designs, just little images. We could stitch any one of those on a 36 count linen, make a button, pop the centerpiece out, make a button around it, you know, the running stitch around the edge, pull it tight, make it fit in, and then you just pop it back in place with a little bit of glue and let it set overnight, and you can have a cross-stitch necklace using one of these patterns. I think that that is a cute idea. I don't know if I'm going to stitch one of these patterns. I'm thinking I might have to find a witch hat, you know, because it's me. All right. So, I had not stitched leading up to the retreat because of the shoulder. But I took stitching with me. Again, I'm doing a Halloween Advent exchange with Melanie Smith, Yarns and Threads. I had done... Okay, Melanie, you're getting a pillow. There's no two ways to say it. But I'm not going to share the finished piece here. I did the sewing here at home. Got it all ironed, and I took the fiber fill with me because I figured with the way my arm was hurting, I could sit there and hold a pillow with my left hand and stuff it with my right hand, and it wouldn't hurt too bad. It kind of sort of worked. I hurt a lot this weekend. People gave me Linda, who I'd met for the first time, and I want to talk more about her too. She gave me some cream called Deep Blue, which she rubbed into my shoulder for me. That's nice. And Colleen let me borrow her heating pad, so I'm sitting at the table with a heating pad draped over my shoulder with this Deep Blue on it, while I'm working on finishing that project for Melanie's exchange. But I also finished a pillow for me. And I know I've told you all about this one. This is Ready for the Party. It's out of the 2021 Just Cross Stitch magazine. This is the one that I wanted to make the witch look like Granny Weatherwax from Terry Pratchett's book, Witches Abroad. So now that I have my little pin pillow, I'm just going to take 3 needles and stick them into her hat because Granny Weatherwax had hat pins that not only held her hat on her head, but she used them for other things too. So I got a finish. In fact, I had 2 fully finishes at the retreat because I stuffed 2 pillows. And yeah, I think that counts. Alrighty. So, just in case I was able to stitch, I had brought with me the 13 Spooky Smalls. Rotten camera cut me off. I took 16 count Bestitch Me Toast to start my smalls on, but I didn't do any stitching on those. I had my Q-snap in here. I've got 5 or 6 different colors because I had picked out 3 different patterns that I wanted to stitch out of this one. The Wicked Without Coffee, the Pot of Flowers, which was the other one? Nope, I didn't have the purple there. I didn't have that one. Oh, the other one was that one. The Hocus Pocus. But I didn't start any of them. I had them, but I didn't start any of them. I had also taken with me my 2021 Halloween special with that pattern there, Nightmare Before Coffee. And I did get some stitching on it. So I managed to get some more of the cup down here filled in. And then I came up here and I started the second row of letters and I did the purple up here of the steam, which is what I'd had to pick out the first time I stitched this because I put it in the wrong spot. We never do anything like that, right? So I did get some stitching done there. But I also managed to get some stitching done on one other project. If you remember, I was showing this pattern to you. This is a Sue Hillis design, High Tides and Good Vibes. I'm making this for my neighbors for Christmas. So, on the pattern, on the design, I don't want to put in the flamingos. I'm not calling them penguins this time. And I don't want to put the words in. But I kind of wanted this area of the sand down here, but I wanted to bring it in closer so that it would be even. So that is what I worked on. I've got, and I don't know how much you're going to be able to see because it's blue on blue, but I've got the edge over here started. I've got a little bit of the sand. I came over here. I'm working on some more of the blue waves over here. So I figured out my width of the whole design here. And I think that I'm going to make this as a large I think I'm going to do a flat fold. I think. I don't know. We'll see when I get there. Okay. So those are the things that I worked on. I posted pictures that I took of the retreat on my Instagram, StitchyWitch42. But mostly they were people sitting at my table. I know it's a hard thing to, I mean, if you visit me, I'm sitting here yakking my head off, but I'm in the comfort of my own home yakking my head off. And in person, when I don't know people, it is really, really hard for me to be social. I'm very awkward about it. So I decided that I was going to get up, and I did this a couple of times, and walk around and talk to different people at different tables. And that was really, really hard, but I'm so proud of myself for doing that. And I just forgot where I was going with that story. There you go. The life of being blonde. Oh yes, talking about people I took pictures of. Whew. This is how my brain works. The pictures I took were people at my table. You might know them. Because at my table, besides having Beth Twist there was also Anna, Stitch Roadies, Colleen and Cheryl, Stitching with the Sisterlies, my friend Marcia, who I've talked about several times because she's the lady who gifted me with the fabric, the pattern, the floss for Blackberry Designs, Strawberry Fields Forever, and stitched the house for me. And there was also somebody there that I had not met before, and she was sitting next to me. Her name was Jenny, but she's known Anna for a long time because through the quilting world. Most of the pictures that I took feature Colleen, Cheryl, Anna, Janine from Acorns and Threads, or Becca. Becca wasn't up to any shenanigans at all. But Anna and Cheryl, they came back to the table at one time. They had been up walking around themselves, and they came back to the table, and they had these little buttons on that said, "Please talk to me, I'm shy." Liar, liar, pants on fire. Yeah. Anna is not shy. She is not. She's not. I know she's going to say she is. She's not. She's told the story that when she was in first grade, that she spent the whole school year with tape across her mouth because she talks. She's not shy. She talks. Cheryl, on the other hand, might be shy, but she followed Anna around, and yeah, the two of them together, it's fun to watch. Now Colleen was there. The three of them were sitting on the opposite side of the table, and Colleen kept disappearing and going back to her room to rest, which meant that those two were not being supervised, and they need to be supervised. When I said that in one of my pictures, she said I was supposed to supervise them when she was gone. I didn't get a memo. No, I am not supervising those two. They were funny and hilarious, and I enjoyed sitting with them. And I feel bad that I didn't take pictures of other people that were there. But again, it's that social awkwardness that I feel. I don't want to walk up to somebody and say, "Hi, my name's Audrey. Can I take a picture of you with me?" That I can't. I can't. No, can't. And I didn't take pictures of the room. I took pictures of the brag tables. Gorgeous stitching there. If you go to my Instagram and you're looking through, find the one with the dragon in the cup. I love that one. There were so many beautiful things there, but the dragon in the cup, you know I have dragons. I like dragons. It's a thing. The retreat was fantastic. I got to meet somebody there that I was looking forward to meeting because I signed up to join her Patreon. On Instagram, she is known as AKA Van Mom. Her name is Linda. I have heard about her from Anna, Stitch Roadies. Anna had gone to her house and did a tour of Linda's crafting room. So I will try to link that video down below. If you haven't seen it, you should go see it because I want to start doing some finishes like she does. Lori, textilist, is another person, another friend of mine who knows Linda and has talked about her before, and they live fairly close over to each other in the Sisters area. So I had joined her Patreon, and because I was one of the first 25 members to join, I received an envelope with a kit in here for a future project that we're going to be working on. There's stickers, they're not library cards, but they're like library cards. She sent some floss cards. Her crafting room is called The Nest. There is a little glassine bag, and there is bits and pieces in here for making a project. There are a couple of different little pieces of fabric here that will be used for a project, and then some random scraps of craft paper. So I know that I will be joining her first Patreon Zoom class on October 8th. I've already told her that I'm going to be a little bit late because she's starting it at 10 a.m. and I don't get off work until 10:30. I'm going to be late. That's okay. Nobody has to wait for me. But when Anna was touring her craft room, because she has limited space, instead of doing pillow finishes, what she does is she does the stitching like she would be making a pillow, but then she just stitches all the way around and just makes it a flat pillow. And then she puts them in a box, kind of like you would with postcards, line them up in a box so that she can flip through them and see them. So, keep that idea in mind. And I want to take you back. I just threw things all across the floor. To the patterns that the designers gave us. Stephanie's and Janine's. When I went upstairs at one time to lay down because my shoulder was hurting, and as soon as my head hit the pillow, my brain goes, ooh, you could do this, you could do that, oh my God. And then I had to get up and start writing notes so that I would remember this thing. But I was thinking how fun it would be, because I don't have the space for a big design like this, and I really like these. How fun would it be to take elements out of these? Take the section with the waterfall and stitch it postcard size. Take the section with the deer and stitch it postcard size. With the sea lions, with the birds, make little postcard size, finish them off like I was going to make pillows out of them, but then sew them completely, not do any filling in there, and have flat postcard pillows. Pillow-esque postcards? I don't know. When I make one, I'll show you. But I thought it was a fabulous idea. What Linda did, and I'm copying her, is what I'm trying to say. You know, every time I get in front of the camera, the mouth and the brain don't communicate, so... And I know that you get a giggle out of it. It's all good. I got some Happy Mail, besides my Welcome to Patreon package. When Melanie did her video and said that she was sending mine out early, she showed, what are these called? I know all you quilters out there have a term for that. They're a charm pack. It says it on the back. Read it. This is a 5-inch charm pack, but these are all Halloween prints. And I said, oh, that's fabulous. So she went back to the shop and she bought another one and she sent it to me. And I said, well, I have to pay you for this. And she said, no, I'm supposed to consider this my Day of the Dead present. Thank you, Melanie. I love you. I really will get your box put together and mailed out this week. I promise. Promise. I got a card from Denise. She has sent me some fabulous cards in the past, but this one is gorgeous. I mean, they're all gorgeous, but take a look at this. Now, it has some writing over here. I don't know whether it's Japanese or Chinese because I don't know. But we have this full moon here, and then we have the birds flying all around it. It's glow in the dark. On my Instagram, I have a picture that shows it like this, and then another one where I took it in Mark's office with all the lights off, and it glows. This is so cool. Thank you, Denise. Thank you. My friend Audrey, who lives over in Northern Ireland. We've connected through my videos, and we connect through Instagram, and not only do we have the same name, we seem to have similar interests. And so she sent me a very simple little card, and in it she was talking about some health issues that we've had that are similar. Anyway, she said, I hope you can use the stamps in your journals. And of course, coming from that area, it is stamped with Queen Elizabeth on it. She sent me a message this morning and wanted to know if I had gotten the chance to see any of the Queen's funeral. And yes, I did. I am that person. When I found out what time it was going to be, I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning so I could watch it here live. Because I did that when Charles and Diana got married, and I did that when Diana died, and I did it when Will and Kate got married, and I did it when the Queen passed away. If you watched any of that funeral at all, it was just absolutely amazing. And all of the sailors pulling the gun cart that her casket was on, watching how they had to hold on to the ropes for that gun carriage and hold on to each other's hand to maintain their spacing and where they were at, and moving that through the streets of London, it was amazing. I've said it before, I will say it again. I love the royal family. I watch them. I always have. I am amazed by them. And she went out with style. I really hope that King Charles lives up to her legacy. And I hope that the people in Britain give him the chance to live up to her legacy. He's changed since I first became aware of him. And I think he's changed for the better. And he's been training for this his whole life. Way longer than she got to train for it. So it will be interesting to see how things happen with our new king. With England's new king. It's my king too. It is. I also got one purchase. I had ordered this before I went up to the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. It is Teresa Kogut's Hello Halloween. Fabulous things in here. If you haven't seen it, you should. This front piece here, this is another one. I love this. I don't stitch samplers. I don't have any space in my house big enough for this. But this center right here, the Halloween, I could either do it like the flat pillow finishes that I was talking about, or I could flat mount it so that it can go on my wooden box over here. That will be happening. When? I don't know. Because there's not enough time to do everything. What else do I have behind me here? Oh, I showed you those. In with Stephanie's pattern was this lovely wrap box. And you know me, I got tissue paper. I'm going to use that in some journals. But we were given these lovely little scissors. So, excited for all the things that we received at the retreat. Janine did not say for sure if she was doing it again yet next year. She wanted to find out from the people who were at the retreat in person what they thought of the whole experience. And I think since we all started applauding immediately that everybody was very happy with how the retreat went. It was so nice because, like I said, we got breakfast there, so we could go down and sit in the atrium and we could have breakfast and drink coffee. They had treats for us in the room that we could go in and snack on if we wanted to. They served lunch to us. We had to, feed ourselves at dinner time. They had a nice restaurant there. What I liked was the fact that I had a room that I could escape to, and I had to, on Saturday, I went upstairs twice to lay down because my neck and my shoulders were hurting bad. I enjoyed the atmosphere there. I've never gone to a retreat like that before. I've been to Acorns and Threads Fall Flings, which was the precursor to the summits, but they were day ones. You had to be there in the morning and you left in the afternoon. You could get a hotel close by. I didn't. But that to me seemed like the Fall Fling atmosphere was more exhausting because if you needed to take a break and get away, there was no place for you to go. Here, if you needed to disappear for a while, if you wanted to go lay down, you could do that. After the retreat hours, if you wanted to, we could stay in that conference room and stitch later on into the evening, or sit out in the atrium and stitch. I think it was a fabulous setup. My vote is please do it again, Janine. I loved it. There was stuff on the freebie table, and Linda went over and picked these out because she thought that I might enjoy doing them. There's a third one somewhere in my bag. I don't know where. I haven't put anything away yet. These are just patterns, but they're wool patterns. There's a spring one, and then there's Birdie's Year by Bonnie Sullivan. This is a February panel. I like that one. I really like that one. So I need to get one of my quilting friends to go shopping with me because I don't know where the quilt shops are at, and I don't know what kind of wool to look for. So I'll be begging them for some help in picking out some wool to make some projects. And I think I am done yakking. No, I am not. Thankfully, I looked at my notes. My last video, I said that I was celebrating my 5th year of doing Flosstube and reaching 3,000 subscribers, and I was offering up a $50 gift certificate to Acorns and Threads. All you had to do was comment on my video. I remembered to count the comments today. I used a random number generator, and then I just started at the bottom and I counted down. And Jenna, slamming the screen door, it's yours. I know you know me. I left a message for you. I need your address, please, so I can send you a gift card. Send me an email. Message me on Instagram. You know where to find me. Don't send any raccoons my way. I got plenty. Anyway, the retreat was fabulous. If you get a chance to go to one, do. Have fun. If you feel like you're not going to know anyone there, it doesn't matter. The lady that I was sitting next to, this was the first time that she had ever come to a retreat. Her name was Jenny. She didn't know what to expect, so she didn't bring any stitching with her because she didn't know what to do. Fortunately, we were given patterns and she got to start something there. But she said she didn't know anyone. She fit in, right in with the rest of us at the table. We were all laughing and giggling and chatting. She got up and went and talked with other people in the room. And at the end of it, she said that she was so happy that she came, even though she didn't know anyone before she came. If you get a chance to go to one, do. You will enjoy yourself. It is fantastic, because just because you sit down at one table doesn't mean you have to stay there. If you're more social than I am, you can get up and walk around, or do like Anna and Cheryl and flit from table to table and sit down and stitch and talk and make new friends, new acquaintance, and have a wonderful time. Until we meet next time, my friends, live long and stitch on. Bye-bye.